Walk me through a process here.
Sure. So at the shop here, when we build, and know that we do, as you saw in Chittenango, we do remote builds, which are a lot of fun to do, and that was a great build for us. But when we do builds at the shop, we start with wood that comes in the door, and we just stack it here. So what comes in is raw lumber. These are just 2x6s, 2x4s, and 1x4s. It's just lumber that we get typically from either Lowe's. 84 Lumber has helped us out. And by the way, a lot of these organizations have discounted or given us donations as well. So a big shout out to Lowe's and 84 and other organizations that have helped us. It comes in, this is a chop saw. And we have some really smart guys. We have a guy who's a retired engineer with CSX. So he built what's called the stop block table. So these are automatic measurements that we cut to. Slide the wood down, hit the block, hit the saw, it's cut to the perfect length. 28 inches, 39, 42, and 75. So those are the lengths that we use to build a headboard. The cut lumber is stacked over here, ready to be sanded. Behind me here over on the right, my right is the sanding table. This is a downdraft table as well as some vacuum that's put on the sanders themselves. As you can imagine, the dust gets a little crazy. Yes. So we've got some guys, again, that are really pretty smart that put this together, Jeff and Dave and Tulio. You can see the dust collection vacuums in the back, and we've really got it down to where you need a mask, but there used to be a cloud here, and now it's really pretty easy. So once the lumber is sanded, the long pieces, these are the side rails, they get put over here, and then these are the components that create the headboards. And so basically a headboard consists of two 2x4s, one 2x6, and then four 1x4s. So the sanded lumber comes on the other side of the table here. This is what we call a tap jig. And this tap jig has got little pins, and we put the lumber down and we actually smack it with a hammer. It's the most fun job that we have here in the shop. People seem to like hitting wood with a hammer. And it puts marks on it so that we know where to drill. All right, once the wood gets marked, it heads over here, and holes are drilled so that the screws go through and don't strip, and also for the lag bolts. The longer boards get drilled on the ends so that we can put lag bolts in. And it kind of all heads over in this direction. The long boards come over here, and we put a cleat rail on using the tools here. And then the other pieces come into this headboard assembly area where lumber gets put in various pieces and arrangements, and we drive screws together and we create the headboard that you see behind you. Once the headboards are created, holes are drilled. Inside here is an interesting concoction. You probably catch a whiff of that. That's vinegar and steel wool. And that's what we use to stain. It's an all-natural stain. It's biodegradable. It's non-toxic. And it does a really pretty good job, as you can see over there. Those will get darker in time, the headboards that have already been stained. From there, once this is dry, we have another whole area where we put our storage over on the other side of the building. And that's essentially how the wood portion of the beds are made. This will all be gone by the end of January, middle of February. You know, this could potentially just be back to the way it was not long ago, just pretty much empty. So it's a feast or famine thing. It doesn't take long. You do 25 deliveries, and one of these shelves is pretty empty. So yeah. Wow. And then over here, I'm not sure if the lights are on over here. This is where we store our tools that we use for, we don't heat over here, so it's a little chillier. This is where we store our tools that we use when we go on the road with our builds, as well as the stacks of headboards and mattresses and, the completed things. You can see all the bedding is all set up for the deliveries that we have coming up in the next couple days. I think we have bedding through Thursday of this week or maybe Saturday of this week, and then we have to do a couple more next week, and slats for the beds. And so we deliver from this end of the building, and yeah.